I really love everything that you guys are doing to like create a really inclusive learning environment where you're accepting people like me to like read to students and whatnot, especially at the elementary school level. But honestly, we got to step it up a little bit, and I really would love to perform my routine for the students. So I've decided to craft a little performance for you guys. Let me know how you like it. Hopefully, I can really perform for the kids and really show the acceptance of drag and performance. So let's go, guys.
Point of order. Can you stop his time for a moment?
We're going to need this to be speaking, not...
Yeah, we only allow public speaking. We don't allow performances and dances.
But I am...
We'll go ahead and continue with your time. You are allowed to speak. This is not a performance time. If you want to perform, you need to contact administration.
But I thought that you guys were
Your time is running. I'll go ahead and let you continue.
I thought that you guys were supposed to be loving and inclusive to the trans community. And I'm a trans woman. I'm a drag queen. I perform. And I love that you let me, read and perform and do all this stuff for children. We have the pride events. I love that stuff. And I just want to be able to perform my routine for the elementary school students, specifically in pre-K and kindergarten. I worked really hard on my routine. I really wanted to do it. I feel like it would really show how progressive and loving and how forward-thinking you guys are. And this is really making me sad. This is bigotry, what you're doing right now by not letting perform. It's white supremacy.
All right, guys. So what you just saw there was a parody from Mr. Alex Stringer, who basically was making a point to the Round Rock ISD school district about how drag queens are allowed to perform for children, because as we know, there is an epidemic of drag shows being performed for children, young children, that is going on across the schools in this country. Yeah, so in this video, we're going to talk about one particular school, Ankeny High School out in Iowa, okay, near Des Moines. Their Gay Straight Alliance Club back in May hosted an after-school drag performance at the end of the year that allegedly was not sanctioned by administrators, and they did not follow protocol. However, they moved forward with the event and had a drag show for children, but nobody was punished for it. And you guys can probably guess why nobody was punished for it, because if you punish people for stuff like this, even if they break protocol, they don't ask permission, you get called a bigot, right? But one mom was not having it, okay, as she decided to make a point about how inappropriate the drag show was for kids and the fact that nobody was punished for this in probably the most ironic way possible.
Okay, I'm standing here today 129 days after the GSA end of the year drag queen show was brought to your attention, and 128 days after you sent an email explaining to parents that the school was made aware of the unauthorized performance that took place at the Ankeny High School, and the whole thing was under investigation. How are we 129 days later and 30 days into the new school year, and we still have not heard any kind of apology from you, nor have we heard a resolution on how you are supposed to make sure that this doesn't happen again on school grounds? Sarah and Joy, your guys ran your campaign on transparency. Where's the transparency in this? All right, how are we going to entrust you and the board members to do what is right if you do not make it apparent to us parents the outcome of what the investigation was? I get that you did not disclose any discipline action that you took, if any, on your employees, but surely you can explain to us concerned parents what policies you have since then put into effect to ensure this never happens again. As you know, that you have employees that have flat out violated several of your own policies, included but not limited to dress code, misuse of public property, inappropriate interactions with students, and several security violations. I mean, I cannot even enter a school to help with this classroom party or have lunch with my kids without a full background check. So please explain to me how this 21-year-old man, dressed the way he was allowed into our school. Seems to me that a man who identifies with the LGBTQ community is not held to the same standards as me as a white woman who attended the Ankeny drag. Does this outfit make you turn your head? Does this outfit seem appropriate for anybody here to see? Because if this makes your head turn, if this pisses you off, then it should. Because this guy walked into our school doing the exact same thing.
Kimberly, can you address the board, please?
This is what the man dressed like in front of our kids. So this makes your head spin. This pisses you off in any way, shape, or form. It should. Because I'm embarrassed to stand here in the outfit that I am in today, but I have a point to prove, and that is that this outfit should not be ever accepted in our schools anyway. And unless you guys make a policy that forbids it, a child can walk into our school dressed this way. An adult can walk in here and do the same thing. An adult can get stuck through the back door and let in to do another performance like this unless you make a policy to stop it today. And this is what we need to do. We need to come together as a community and stop what this is happening, what's happening in our schools. This guy had no background check. Because if he did, and you guys saw this, you would clearly see he's a satanic worshiper. He has blood all over his face. It's an easy Facebook text message. Look it up. But this is okay. This is not okay. This is not okay for you to see. This is not okay for our kids to see. And I hope to God you guys do the right thing and you put it into it. You make a public apology to us parents who have to have our kids sit there and go through this. Because this is wrong. And I hope to God this goes viral and people laugh at me for the outfit that I'm wearing today. Because they didn't laugh at the guy for it, they called him on. But that's wrong. No kid should have to be subject to this, and you guys should have to be subject to me wearing this. But the only way I think we can get through to you guys is by showing you exactly what you did. That's what I'm here for. And I hope to God we can meet and we can work things out. And as for you, you don't talk to me.
Kimberly, you're 3 minutes.
I'm
sorry.
Guys, isn't it a shame that parents have to go to these extremes in order to demonstrate an obvious point, right? Which is that this stuff should not be allowed in schools at all, right? Like, for example, when it comes to the books, the sexually explicit books that are being allowed in some of these schools for kids to read, parents have to go to these school board meetings and read the books to the school board just for the school board to say, oh, that's inappropriate, right? That's inappropriate. You can't read that here. So it is inappropriate for adults to hear it, but it's not inappropriate for kids to read. Again, we've seen this so much during school board meetings across the country. But for whatever reason, we keep seeing the same theme over and over and over again. These school boards, because they're woke, right, and they're ran by liberals, a lot of them, they just don't do anything. They're just, whatever, you expose our hypocrisy, but we're not going to really fix the problem. The problem here in this situation is that this Gay Straight Alliance Club went out of their way without permission to have a drag show where kids were exposed to grown men in outfits like this woman had on, which everybody would agree is inappropriate for a grown woman to wear to school in front of kids, right? So imagine a mother coming to school in an outfit like that and, I don't know, having lunch with her kid or something. Right, I think that administrators will ask her, hey, you need to, put on some clothes, right? You need to put on some more clothes. Children are here. That's inappropriate. But if it's a drag queen, though, if somebody says, hey, I'm a part of the LGBTQ community, we're doing this for social justice, it's totally fine, right? It's totally okay. Again, how many times have we seen this, guys? How many times have we seen it? When it comes to political violence in this country. If you say that, hey, I'm doing political violence in the name of social justice, right? For example, like I'm doing political violence to fight against police brutality. It's acceptable, right? It's totally fine to have that. However, if you do political violence because, I don't know, you don't like the outcome of the election, particularly if you are a conservative or Republican, you're an insurrectionist, right? You're some type of extremist. When it comes to the race conversation, you can say all the racist things in the world you want about white people if you happen to not be white and you're also on the left, right? And you claim that you're fighting against systemic racism. That's the reason why you're saying racist things to white people and the reason why you're perpetuating racism. Fighting racism, more racism. Totally fine. But if you are white, okay, and you want to say racist things about, non-white people, you can't, right? That's bigotry. Again, this is what I'm talking about when I talk about how certain people in this country want special rights. Okay? The people that claim to be oppressed and so-called minorities in this country, they don't want equal rights. They want special rights. Again, most people would accept that it is not okay to have strippers come into a school, right? And when I may say strippers, I mean female strippers, right? Most people say, nah, that's not okay. That's not cool. However, if it's a male stripper that says, hey, I'm a drag queen, that's totally fine. That's totally okay. But who knows? I mean, at this point in our society, some of these people on the left are so hell-bent on exposing kids to sex that they probably would be cool with female strippers coming to school and having kids make it rain on them, right? They would probably be totally fine with that. I mean, I've seen that, right? That was a rapper. I forget her name. I saw the video. That went to school and was twerking in the gym in front of young boys, right? As if that's appropriate. And see, again, that's the thing. These people think that the opposition to this comes from a place of homophobia, transphobia. It's like, no, we just don't want kids exposed to this stuff in school, whether that be straight or gay, right? We don't want women coming into schools twerking, putting on sexualized performances. We don't want any of that stuff, period. But again, in order to deflect away from that, they always try to charge people with bigotry who are opposed to this type of stuff, right? Who are opposed to drag shows in school. Again, I'm all for you having your rights, okay? But your rights stop when it comes to children. You do not have the right to expose yourself sexually to children. You do not have the right to perform sexually in front of children. You don't have that right. That is not a right, okay? You can go do that in your own private venue. I'm not trying to ban you from doing that, right? Go do it in your own private venue, but you can't do it in schools. Because again, if it was heterosexual, I think most people would say, for the most part, that it's inappropriate. We can't do that, right? Kids shouldn't be exposed to stuff. But again, the left has gone so far off the cliff that they would probably be okay with it either way. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.